my family and I, we moved to Grass Valley back in 1985, so I've been a resident here for since that period of time. And what prompted me to run is the fact that there had been some news articles reported in the paper dealing with some sentencing issues coming out of Judge Anderson's courtroom. So I took a closer look at that, and I looked at my background and my training and my experience, and I was a prosecutor here in Nevada County from 1990 through 1995. And I ultimately decided to run for his seat for 4 basic reasons. One is accountability, and I'll get into the specifics of each of these reasons in a few minutes. The other was community and public safety. The third reason was for concern about the victims of crimes, their rights, and the lack of focus on victims' issues. And the fourth issue was the balance, the lack of balance on this court. It appears to me that Judge Anderson, in his decisions from the bench, is really not taking a neutral position. His focus is more on the criminal defendant and less on the community concerns. Well, Liz, you brought up a couple of good points. One is the judge bound? Does the judge have to make certain rulings? The judge is bound by the penal code, by the sentencing guidelines and the rules of court. But within those rules of court, the judge has a tremendous amount of discretion to impose a sentence, a sentencing range, whether or not to grant probation in a particular case. And when you have that amount of discretion, it's critically important to examine where that judge is coming from in terms of the judge's philosophy, personal beliefs, philosophy. In Judge Anderson's case, it's coming from a background of being a career criminal defense attorney, a public defender, and his focus, I believe, is still on doing what he believes is best, and quite frequently that involves a very lenient sentence, doing what he believes is best for the offender. And that's his true belief. When you look at that, and you can look at the sentencing decisions that have been made, and you can come to the conclusion that his focus is not on protecting the community, it's not on public safety, it's not on deterring crime, it's not on correction, it's not on holding the offender accountable for his crime. It's on anything but those principles. So, yeah, the judge is bound by the law, but within the law, the judge has a tremendous amount of discretion. Well, I have, in my 26 years as a prosecutor, I have handled thousands of cases. I've negotiated thousands of cases at the pre-trial stage. I have been involved in about 100 jury trials and many more court trials. And in each situation that I've encountered, one of the things that's paramount in my mind as I'm dealing with the case is ensuring that the basic rights of the defendant are protected as well as the rights of the victim. I have reviewed cases. My expertise, if you will, really is in terms of constitutional laws in the area of the Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment, search and seizure and Miranda issues. So when I'm, say, reviewing a case to see if we're going to file the case in the first place, many cases don't get filed because of what I see as a Fourth Amendment violation. The evidence is not going to be coming into court. The defense never has a chance to litigate that because the case doesn't get filed in the first place. I've had situations where during the course of a trial, I became convinced that the defendant was not guilty of the crime that I was prosecuting him for. And this happened. This was in the middle of a jury trial, and I brought this to the attention of the judge, and I told the judge, I want to dismiss this case. I don't think this guy did it. And I did. That's what I did. The judge was quite upset. He thought I was wrong, but I felt that I was doing the right thing. So, ensuring that the constitutional rights of a defendant are protected is one thing that I'm already geared towards doing. I mean, it's a small community, but to every person involved in the system, a crime is a big event. If you're the victim, I mean, it means the world to you. If you've been the victim of an assault or a theft. To a defendant, it's obviously a big thing if the defendant is taking the case seriously. So the fact that we're in a small community, I don't think detracts from the importance or the significance of any case that's brought before the court. The community has a right to feel safe and to feel protected. And the best way to do that is to enforce the sentencing provisions or the sentencing rules in such a manner that makes sense, that will help to rehabilitate the defendant, but that choice is with that person. So it's very important that we consider each case as significant, not just we're in a small town, small county. It really doesn't make any difference.